Welcome, everybody. As you know, my name is Father Henry Zeno. I'm from the Diocese of Providence, and this is now my third year coming here, taking some cooking lessons and having a nice Italian meal. I really enjoy coming and working with all of you and Father Ed Linton, our chief here, as you rest and relax and study on the Institute for Continuing Theological Education here in Rome. And we are live streaming that, so welcome everybody who's watching this from Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish and St. Mary's Parish and other priests who've been on the Institute. It's a joy to have you here. We're going to do some cooking lessons, and then anything that I cook, feel free to email me and I'll send you the recipe. So I'm going to do a number of things. I'm going to show you a number of things because everything obviously has to be cooked beforehand. Same thing online. If you're watching this, if you see something you like, just email me or Facebook me, text message me, and we'll be happy to send you the recipes. So tonight we've already had 4 appetizers, and relatively easy to make. People say, oh, that's easy for you to say, Father Zeno, but they are relatively easy to make. Our title of our dinner tonight is Cooking for One Can Be Fun, and it can be fun cooking for one. So the appetizers you had, the first one was chichi beans, garbanzo beans. Open a can, drain them. Put them in a saute pan, olive oil, rosemary, garlic, just slowly cooking them. A little Parmesan at the end, and fill them in those plastic cups that you had, and then toss the cups away. Nothing with a dishwasher. The nice thing about that dish, which will happen with a number of dishes tonight, is a dish like that can be reposted the next day as a pasta sauce. You can put that into, again, a saucepan, maybe a little chicken broth, a little olive oil, and then toss it over pasta. So you have two meals. You have a nice protein dish, like for lunch, the garbanzo beans, and then make it into a pasta the next day. So you had that. The second thing you had was a stuffed mushroom, the Tuscan stuffed mushrooms. These mushrooms don't have meat or anything in them. They're just chopped up green olives, chopped up roasted red peppers, chopped up green scallions, Parmesan cheese, and then you just put it into a blender. Put in the top of the mushrooms, 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Come out of the oven. I love them. They're one of my favorite appetizers. The third thing you had was crostinis. The crostinis, I don't think there's any left over there. Are there any left over there, Ed? Yeah. No, those are the nuts. Those are the spiced nuts. The crostinis just was you get a baguette of bread, just slice it, put in the oven 450 degrees for 5 minutes. Comes out nice and toasted. Ricotta, sliced pear, honey, balsamic. Oh, Father, we can bring those right over here. We can show the people online while they're watching it. And nuts. You're going to bring the people down there, huh? So, fruit and cheese. In fact, it's a concept. You know, if you don't have pears, apple is fine. I've done this with watermelon, thinly sliced watermelon, or peaches, huh? So it's the crostini, the ricotta cheese, sliced pear, honey, balsamic, and a little walnut. And if you want, which I did, just crush black pepper right on top.
Is that basically a variation on the bruschetta, which is basically tomato? Or
that's so a crostini is a smaller kind of bruschetta. Okay. So bruschetta would be like a bigger slice of Italian bread, toasted, you know. Where crostini is more like a bite. All right. And then the final thing is these toasted pecans. Get them over here so that our camera can see it. Yeah. Those are, in fact, I was going to make them in front of you, but I couldn't find the sugars. I put all the sugars together. But it's brown sugar, white sugar, ground clove, ground cinnamon. Aren't they good, huh? Our cameraman just had one. Ground cinnamon and a little black pepper and ground rosemary. And with egg white is the glue, a little vanilla. You toss the pecans in that, throw the sugar on, put them in the oven again. I think it's 30 minutes at 350 degrees. And they'll last for a couple months in a Ziploc container. But they're great at Christmas. They have a real Christmas flavor to them. So those are the appetizers that we have. Now, a few things I'm going to show you is first this. One of the things I utilize a lot is roasted cherry tomatoes. And I roast them myself, slow roasted, cut in half, 225 degrees for 2 hours in a sheet pan, done with olive oil, salt and pepper, and Italian herb seasoning. Now, I bought this, huh? But I have my own herb garden at home, so I have basil and parsley and rosemary and thyme. But I bought this because it's lo stesso forse. It's the same thing, except it's dry. And you get regular cherry tomatoes, or these are grape tomatoes, really. And I'm not going to use that one, that's too big. And all you do is slice them in half. Very simple, that's it. And you put them into the sheet pan. And you put a whole bunch in with all the flavorings I told you, the olive oil, the ground Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, and you just let them sit in the oven at 225 degrees or so, 2 hours, turn them once, and then jar them. Put them in a jar. They'll last for a couple months, because it's olive oil. You can throw a little vinegar if you want, but you don't have to. And then you can use this in salads. You can use it as another pasta dish. Throw it onto a pasta with the pasta water, or as a spread on a sandwich. A little mortadella, a little prosciutto, a little this. It's good. But I jar them, and you'll see them on 2 plates tonight. And then, likewise, they'll be actually on our appetizer plate. I make my own salad dressing. All right, I don't buy the stuff in the store. It's filled with chemicals. All you need is some nice extra virgin olive oil. Don't get the cheap stuff. Get the nice stuff. Don't get Mazola oil, corn oil. That's not going to make a nice salad. Okay? Then you get a nice balsamic. Equal portions of both. So if it's just you, cooking with one can be fun. Then you're making a salad for yourself. If you put a couple tablespoons of olive oil, a couple tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, you're fine. And then just a little bit of Dijon mustard. Just emulsifies it. And the real secret ingredient, soy sauce. Just a dash. Just a dash. You don't overdo it. Just a dash. And you'll taste it and say, wow, gee, that really just added something. Add too much, it won't work. Huh? It won't work at all. But just a dash is fine. So make your own salad dressing, much healthier for you. Huh? Right. Then we have a pasta course tonight. Let's see. Give me a second, I'll be right back.
It's no longer al dente.
But now, word from our sponsor.
Not so much to you.
So our pasta sauce is pasta scampagnolo. And what I do, if you have a garden, you have fresh cherry tomatoes, great. I use the canned ones, Amazon cherry tomatoes. They're just as good. So got six of those. And then you saute onions first in olive oil. And then you go to Amazon or here in town and buy Nduja sausage. N-D-J-U-A. Nduja. You can get it on Amazon. They'll ship it from Chicago. And it's a spreadable pepperoni is the best way to describe it. So you got the red onions in there, and saute them a little bit, don't brown them. Then put that in. This was maybe about 2/3 of a stick. It was about this big. Then you throw in the tomatoes, little basil, and just slow cook it. It's a wonderful pasta sauce. It's like an arrabbiata, so there's like a little kick in the back, but not overpowering. It's a wonderful taste, and the Nduja sausage is what gives it the taste. Again, look it up online, order it, or even at a place like Whole Foods would have it. But it gives a whole different taste to it. And then you finish it off with some more basil, as we will do tonight, and a little Parmesan.
How do you spell that sausage again?
N-D-J-U-A, Nduja. It's a Calabrese. Calabrese, so from the south of Italy. We actually have families in my parish in Bristol, which is an Italian parish. Well, I have 2 parishes. Our Lady of Mount Carmel is the Italian parish, and St. Mary's Parish is one of the oldest parishes in the diocese. But we have families who actually make this sausage. And it takes a while, but they do make it, and it's good. So that'll be our pasta course. I'm going to serve it with a dried pasta. I make my own pasta. In fact, a few years ago, I donated to the college a pasta machine. But this sauce is really better with a dried pasta, one you buy. So we're going to have it with a rigatoni tonight. Huh? All right? And then, it's hot. I'm bring this back. And for our main course, we have our potato. Let me get a picture of that. This is a potato done like risotto. You cut the potatoes very thin in slices. You peel it, and then you have chicken broth. And you saute some onions, throw the potatoes in, and just keep adding the chicken broth like you would for risotto until they're cooked. So it's potatoes in a risotto style. Very easy. And actually, if you put it in the refrigerator, and then the next day you can make a potato salad. Whether you use mayonnaise or more olive oil, it's actually very good for a potato salad. I'm sure you can see that. A little parsley on top. And then our vegetable will be this lovely vegetable. I'm not sure, in town, have you seen the broccoli romanesco? It's kind of a weird looking broccoli. So it's like this lighter green. It's kind of a cross between cauliflower and broccoli. And it kind of has peaks or whatever. And so, again, I blanch it, hot water, chopped up, blanch it, and then put it into a saute pan with olive oil, garlic, and let it saute for a little bit. And then I top it with pancetta and those roasted tomatoes. So that's our vegetable course for tonight. And again, for all these recipes, and even those who are watching online, you want one of these recipes, I'd be happy to email it to you. And mark my word, they're incredibly easy to make. So our main course, if I can get that over here. Our main course is this Sicilian meat roll. And it's ground veal, ground sirloin, and ground pork. Mix it all together. And because it's Sicilian, you also put in either raisins or cranberries and pignoli nuts. You put in Parmesan cheese, your onion, garlic, salt, and pepper. Right? And then you spread it out on a sheet pan, so it's like a little sheet cake. And then on top of it, you put provolone, arugula, and prosciutto, and you roll it like a jelly roll. You just roll it with the parchment paper, close in the ends, 450 degrees for half an hour with olive oil on top, and it's done. And it smells really good. The place smells really good today. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I meant to introduce our friends from Bristol with Donna McKenna here back here. Helped us all day, and her husband Bob, who is carefully opening the wine over there, over from Bristol. His daughter works at the U.S. Embassy here in town, so it's great having him here because we spent most of the day doing all this. And then this makes great meatloaf sandwiches the next day if you like meatloaf sandwiches.
Can you freeze it?
450 degrees.
You'll freeze it. Can you freeze it?
You can. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can freeze it once it's cooked. You can freeze it and then just take it out in portions. Absolutely. Yep. And then our dessert, our dolce. You have to have a little dolce.
Yeah. I should go wait for my workout to do this dinner.
This is one of my favorite desserts. Just a little, and I'll make the portions small tonight, so you don't have to worry. So this, in fact, let me get a little bit closer. I can show you here. It's in a wine glass, and it's called pot au creme. And everything's done in the blender. This whole thing is done in a blender. You get 12 ounces of milk chocolate chips, and you get 4 eggs, not cooked. Just put all these things in a blender, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla, a pinch of salt, and then you make a nice cup of coffee, a strong coffee. You put 8 ounces into the blender. Put everything in the blender, slowly pour the coffee, and it'll cook the egg. Then you put it in the refrigerator for 3 hours or so, and it comes out. You put whipped cream, a little little cookie on top, and you look like a genius. You know, and you didn't have to even cook this. And this will last for a week in the refrigerator. So you can have it every day up until Ash Wednesday when, even though it's Valentine's Day, you can't have this. But it's a lovely dessert, I think, and it's very light. You can also, instead of the vanilla, you could put a little brandy in if you wanted to, and give it like a, but don't overdo it because it'll get too much of a taste. Huh? Wonderful. So that's our little course. We'll now have all 4 courses. I hope you enjoy. I hope this was informative. If you want the recipes, Ed has my email address. I'll give you the email address, and you can come and enjoy. Huh? Great. Questions for me? No. Yes.
Does the soy sauce give salty flavor to the...
It adds a kind of what that fit taste, umami. That's what it adds to it. It gives it just a slightly different taste. So try it, but it's just a little bit. But you'll know it's in the background. Other people, if you're having guests over for dinner, they'll say, "Gee, this vinaigrette is really good." You say, "Ah, it's my secret recipe." If I told you what the secret was, I'd have to kill you. So, good. Other questions?
The biggest problem is time. The life of a priest, and so there's not a lot of time to prepare. Dedicate time here and there. But how long would it take us to pull something like this off?
Well, to pull this whole dinner off, it would take you all day. So, but to do the small version of meatloaf with potatoes and vegetables, not that long at all. Because the meatloaf only takes a half hour in the oven. It's just preparation. And then the potatoes, I think Donna was about 20 minutes or so in the pan with the potatoes, huh? And then the broccoli, you blanch it first, and then you put it in the saute pan, and you don't want it to be mushy, so you don't overcook it. So the main course, or the pasta by itself, just as a course. But to put on a dinner for 20 people, and with hors d'oeuvres and wine and everything like that, that's why I have our sous chefs with us, you know. So it's good, huh? Other questions?
How do you blanch?
Blanch is to blanch a vegetable, you get hot water boiling, okay, and you chop up your vegetable, a little salt in it, and you get the vegetable like a broccoli, like a cauliflower, and you let it cook for maybe 2 minutes.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And then you take out, some people would like to retain the color, then we'll immediately plunge the vegetable into ice water. So that it keeps the color, right? And then after, I didn't do that, but then after you do that, you can saute it to add the flavor. Because just a blanched vegetable will just be very plain. But when you saute it with the olive oil, the garlic, and everything like that, then it takes on a whole...
It's boiling water for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so that's blanching. Yeah. Other questions?
When you say like a nice extra virgin oil, what do you mean?
Yeah, so extra virgin olive oil, there's olive oil, and then extra virgin is the first press of the olive. So it's usually a little bit greener, has a fruitier taste. It's more expensive, but that's the one you want to use, certainly in Italian cooking. Regular olive oil, you can use it, it's fine, but the extra virgin will give, if you took 2 small bottles, extra virgin olive oil and regular olive oil, and took a spoonful, you'd taste the difference right away. And you'd be saying, this is mine. I don't want the other stuff. All right? Other questions? All right. So, I want to thank all of you for being here, and we're going to have a nice dinner tonight. And thank those who have joined us online from my parishes of St. Mary's and Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and other priests who have been here on the ICTY program. It's always a wonderful event. If you haven't been to it and you're a priest, make sure you sign up for it. It's one of the best things I've done, and I've done it twice now already. So it's a great, great program. And our director, Father Ed Linton, who's praying over there, and right behind him is Monsignor Tom Powers, who's the rector of the seminary. And they're just waiting for all of you priests, my priest friends who haven't been here, to come on this program. And then you might see me here cooking a dinner for you. So anyways, thank you all. Thank you all. God bless.